still up a little bit. Let's share this out. Just sharing things out right now. We'll give it one more minute for people to come in to the show. All right. It's it's a little my internet is not great, and I know Fireside's been having some trouble, so hopefully y'all can hear me. Can you hear me okay, Sheila? Can you hear me okay? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to get started. I appreciate you guys coming. Hey, Sonia. And we are going to get moving here. And, as people roll in, and that'll be that. So, my name is Deanna. I'm a speaker, educator, and coach that brings light and lightness to the heavy topic of trauma. You're in the Laughter After Trauma show here live on Fireside. And my story is that I'm a thriver after intimate partner violence, and it led me to find beauty and laughter in the healing. And through that, I started on this, what I would call a magical self healing journey. And along the way, I've made some amazing friends. And Sheila happens to be one of those friends, and she comes here once a month and we share a show together and we talk energy. And Sheila is an energy healer. Correct me if I'm not saying that right, but I think that's what your title is. Energy healer. And she's recently certified in rapid transformational therapy. So I'm going to be tapping into that in the next couple of days. I'm super excited. And then we have something in store for you guys this evening at the end of our show where she's going to share with the group and do a little hypnosis. So I'm real excited about that too. But today's show, we're talking about energy and going into the month of March and just kind of where we are. I think I would call it, I might be saying this wrong, but just collectively and universally where we are energetically. And I think that we talked today for a good long time. It's been a while since we've been able to hang on the phone for a little bit, and so that was exciting. And but we talked today about just how the energy, you can just feel it shifting, and how you almost don't know which way to move, and to kind of sit into that and kind of let the energy be the thing that guides you. One of the things you said in your newsletter that really resonated with me was just, do the things you might be led to do, whether that's, it doesn't matter, whether that's cleaning or working or whatever it is. But sometimes maybe it's the silence that you need. to like just shut down, back off, get off of social media, eliminate the texting, turn your phone off for a day or two. Just see what you can do to kind of disconnect so that you can tune into the energy. So, I don't know what you have to say about it, Sheila. You're the energy expert.
I'm still trying to figure out this situation in my new office because in the daytime I can turn the blinds open. At night, it's very bright in here, but you can't tell because the way that the shadows
Right.
are aligning. So I'm like trying to find a way where I show that I'm awake and I'm present. Yeah, so we're in I mean, I sent you something while Monica was during Monica's show the last hour. I was scrolling just a tiny bit while I was listening in on her show, and I guess Saturn is in Pisces for the first time in 30 years. We're having like 30 years worth of work we've done on ourselves is going to come back in the form of just an easier time and rewards and lots of big endings and lots of new beginnings. And so, I mean, think about where you were 30 years ago. That's a long time. I mean, gosh, I was like almost 20. I was 19. I know exactly what happened at that time. So think about how maybe energetically, not only your cycling as March is really the official new year, January and February were not original months in our calendar. Also, astrologically, we're entering the beginning of the new year. So we have all of these symbols of the new year in America. We call it January. So we're really kind of going into our new year right now. And then you sync up what's going on astrologically. We've got a full moon in Virgo right now. We have got these solar flares that have been. Can you hear me okay, Dana? Because I'm getting, even though I'm hooked up to a really good Wi-Fi, okay, it must be the app because my office, I have like premium Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is right there, so
Yeah.
there should not be a problem on my end. So you sync that up with
I
like
hear
the
you good.
solar flares, which I'm I'm not I'm not speaking about that in terms of, you have to go outside and worry you're going to get hit by a bolt of, fire, but they definitely, when those solar flares hit, they impact us on like a DNA level. It's like we're doing our own reprogramming. So some of us, again, are still going through these bouts of like restless nights or maybe deep sleep, but really prolific, like dreams. Some might be unsettling, some might be inspirational. Some of us are going through upheavals, a lot of triggers right now. This is a very common time with all these mechanisms in place to be going to be getting hit with some of our old childhood wounds and triggers. So think about abandonment, think about scarcity mindset, which we're going to talk about. Think about not being enough and not lovable, all those things that we pick up along the way from our childhood on up through our adulthood. And you compound that with the amount of energy that's being driven into us. It's really right now a sink or swim type of situation. Not to sound dramatic, but it's like the people who really want to evolve and do better and be better are going to keep rising up and up and up, and they're going to rise up quickly. Like they call it quantum, like timelines, quantum movement, timelines collapsing. These are a lot of the terms that we hear energy people, experts using. And just, to give you an example of my life, like I feel like I'm starting over from my teen years right now. There's a lot of things I'm not going to speak about that were just not important to just get into that level of detail, but I feel myself going through the motions of being a teenager again. There's just been a lot of things that have come up, and I feel this incredible just burst of renewal. Simultaneously, I also feel, and Deanna, you and I talked for a long time today, more than we ever have in a while, that, and I thought about this a little bit the past few hours, because after we spoke, I did exercise and I did some things, and then I took a long Epsom salt bath, and that really just kind of settled my brain down, all the chatter in my head. And I haven't done that in a while, so that's another great tool, is to take a little Epsom salt bath. If you're feeling a little anxious and you're feeling those triggers come up, that bath will really, the magnesium and the salt will really calm you down. But what I was thinking about I was thinking about how what we were talking about on the phone, the last time I felt this lull, this great pause, because I'm always like so busy and I haven't been. And I'm like, how do I define myself without the rigor that I'm used to? Was when we first went through COVID and we had that lull and we're all like, all of us just pausing and like, who are we? And it was so interesting because I made that connection. And at some point today in the car, my older 18-year-old daughter, my newly minted 18-year-old daughter, said, do you realize that like it's a 3-year anniversary of COVID? And I really just, I know that timeline doesn't align with the other timelines right now, but I do feel there's we're getting some closure on that. Like we're just kind of getting rid of some of the remnants of the feelings that were brought up around that. And then we're going to just let it go and move on into this new cycle, which is going to be very abundant and very bountiful, very plentiful. There's going to be enough. There's going to be enough for everybody. I can't emphasize that enough. But for those that are, and I know I'm speaking from an experience that not, everyone has had that's listening to this, but Monica, who comes on here, sometimes her last show is all about what is like triggering Americans to be in a more hateful state of mind. And it's so interesting because like those triggers are the very things that we're going to touch on one of them tonight, which is the abundance mindset. Is that's when people worry about having enough, when they don't have enough and they become reactive, it comes out in their behaviors towards one another, in their driving, in the way they treat their family, their coworkers, etc. And when we collectively continue in that vein of all being worried about scarcity, worried about having enough, worried about abundance and having things available to us that that won't be there. We get into the spiral and we get influenced by what we see in social media, we get influenced by what we see in the news. It becomes almost like a virus. It becomes very what's the word, like when there's a virus, it's when you get, when you pick up a cold
Contagious.
easily. Contagious, thank you. It becomes
Contain.
energy. Energy is the same as a virus. It's a physical, like almost like a physical virus. And if you are not careful to protect yours and to nurture it, and as Monica was saying, to align your inner circle with people that have similar value systems, that are kind, that are loving, that are supportive. Um, as we're going through all these cyclic changes right now, astrologically, and then with the solar flares and everything else, if you are not taking the time to be in these quiet moments and like pause and work through your triggers and do that self-care, align yourself with people that are on the same path that you are, this these very things can and will destroy you, because the energy that's coming in is not going to support the lower vibration anymore. And so that's why it's so important to continue to align in a higher mindset, which is what we're going to do at the end of the show tonight, by introducing, for those that choose to stay, a voluntary group hypnosis, and then just for me to do basically it's like a guided meditation, for a lack of a better word, planting in the programming of abundance. And I'm just going to do it stream of consciousness, like whatever comes up. That will be recorded here so that the people who come back in to watch the replay, or for you, if you want to watch the replay, the process of getting into that mindset isn't just like a one-stop shop. You just go back and you listen until you retrain your brain. So yeah, that's how energy works. That's it. We're done.
Well, no, there was something that
Anyhow,
you
so
said that made me think um, about, so when we talk about the scarcity and the abundance mindset, I think sometimes too, and I know this applies to me, and we talked a little bit about it today, um, that it's not so much that I fear I'm not going to have what I need.
mhm.
I think that sometimes I'm afraid to break through to the next level. And I know that that level is what's going to allow me the freedom that I need for, what I want to do as far as my purpose, my mission, the
Mhm.
work that I want to do. And if I can break through that level and actually, elevate, then I can eliminate some things that, weigh on me, or like, this jobs that I'm transitioning out of and into more
Hmm.
of
Right,
this,
right,
the
right.
light
Yeah,
work.
that's like,
Right.
so that's a huge one because, and you touched on one word in particular, privately. So I'm just going to say that word out loud because it's faith. And I know Monica was touching on that too. That's one of the reasons we're disintegrating so much, is that we don't really have a tangible connection to a form of spirituality in whatever form that comes in that's right for you. And with us right now, it's you can't always see the steps that are ahead, right? So it's having that blind faith, and we can't, and you and I talked about this privately, but you don't have the space to bring in what's coming in next until you let go of what no longer serves you. And that sounds, I know that's rhetorical, like we all know that, but when we're in it and we actually have to walk the walk and not talk about it anymore, it's insurmountable. It's really uncomfortable, and especially when you don't know when it's going to end. Like, when are the dry spells going to end? When am I just going to get showered with, my new clients? When am I going to get showered with my new venue for speaking? When am I going to get showered with the divine inspiration to write my book? When am I going to get showered with speaking opportunities? Like, when we push back, when we do too much of that, we go dive down into the opposite of faith. We're going into fear because we need to have the understanding of knowing what's going to happen. And it's in the period of not understanding that we're getting the true understanding, and we're getting the actual movement, and it's invisible. It's like a seed in the ground. When it sprouts up and you see that poke through the soil, we say, wow, that's so beautiful. Look at these flowers, or look at that, my plants are finally sprouting. But we don't go every day and dig up the soil and look and see what's happening, to the seed, to know that it's germinating and it's doing all it needs to do to get what it needs to grow. It knows what it needs, and it knows how it's going to do it. And there's this divine innate consciousness in all of us, all things living and non-living. When we go to bed at night, our body knows how it needs to rest. It knows how to breathe. Our heart keeps beating. Like, if we could just look at life, and I know that we have bills to pay and we have to live, so that sounds so simple, Sheila, right? Like, if only, right? But really, when we tap into that divine source, of that belief of everything is going to be okay, and it's hard, I mean, it's not always, there's a lot of times where we try to do that and it doesn't work, and we keep trying and it doesn't work, and then there's just like brief glimpses of what it feels like to really be in a free flow state. And we're in that free flow state. That is when you get the inspiration. That's when the people find you. That's when you get all the upgrades. That's when you get the opportunities, and they do happen. And so here's an example. I think you can't talk about this stuff and just not give, tangible examples. So I'm not going to speak to my new career that's developing, but just, because that's still coming and that's still in process. But for the moment, I'll just stick to massage, because even that has been slow lately in some regards. And I just said to myself today, you know what? I said, I'm okay. I'm like, I surrender. Like, I'm just going to work on my taxes. I'm going to be present with my children. I'm going to take care of myself. I surrender. I will be here for whomever needs me when they need me, because that's why I'm here. I'm not here for me. I'm here to serve others. And that's when they need me, I'm here. And it happened maybe just a couple hours ago. My phone started pinging, and it was just a client that had resurfaced. It's like, could you work on, it was like for this person and somebody else, for both of them, and it's a nice paying situation. So it was like a little ping, like just a little affirmation, like, just hang in there, Sheila, like, everything's fine. And but it wasn't, I didn't, when I received that ping, I wasn't in that moment, I wasn't in the mindset of scarcity or worry. I had actually let that go, like you and I had that conversation. And then and that's the other thing, like, connect in with other people we're all going through this, we're all connected, so we all feed off of each other. So the moment like that's where we get back to the, you know, the contagiousness. So if we're all worried and we're all isolating and we're all not doing things, we're all not spending money, then we're just adding to the environment of scarcity. But when we start to have constructive conversations and we become vulnerable, whether it's on the show or on a phone call, you reach out to a friend or you go out and have a tea with someone, like you could easily just stay home and, well, I mean, things fell through with work today, so I'm just going to stay home and binge on Netflix. Or you put yourself out there, take a shower, put some clothes on, go out and connect with somebody that you don't normally have time to connect with and see what that feels like. Like you and I didn't have that normal. We don't always have this time to connect. Like, I don't think in a year we've spoken for that as long as we did today. And see what came out of that conversation. I know I felt a lot more relaxed. I think you felt a lot more relaxed. And it also gave me some golden nuggets. Like, it got things like brewing in my head. I was like, yeah, we're all in this together, and we're all like, we need to be more transparent. And then the next step is be proactive about it. So continue to, you know, spend what money you can, or continue to pursue endorsing and talking about and helping other people with their businesses, because that will, you know, not for it to come back to you, but it will come back to you, because you are, like, we're all these little dominoes, and like when one good one domino, just all the other ones fall in alignment and everything just falls into place. I just finished a book by David Hamilton. I read a couple of his books, about how he does a lot about like the mind, body, and the spirit. And this last book that he wrote during COVID, and it was like the science behind the woo woo. The book is sitting over there. I can get the title, and it was just, you know, he's very connected into the concept of kindness. So I mean, that goes very far with me, that concept of being kind. And he said every little step we take, it's like, even as Monica was saying in the show just before us, like when she was at a store and another customer like tried to cut her off in line, and then complained because she wouldn't let her have this place in line, and it was ludicrous. That is an example of like contagious negative behavior. But if you are in a store and you are in the grocery store and you allow somebody to go ahead of you, even if you were rightfully supposed to go next, but they're just being cranky and they're wrong. I get it, they're wrong. But if you let them go through and you just take a deep breath and center yourself, like, let that energy stay on them. Like, let them run that through them. I don't want them to touch my energy and run it through me. And in that moment, I guarantee you, somebody will watch what you did and you will inspire them to do something nice, or they will come up to you at some point when you're walking out of the store and say, I saw what you did and that was really nice. You didn't have to do that, and now you're inspiring me to be nicer. So when I get in my car, I'm going to be a kinder driver on my way home. Like, that's kind of the gist of what David was saying. And he has like a PhD in science and mathematics, and he also is a metaphysical expert, and so he kind of brings together the science behind everything. But how he was, you know, pivoting in the end of his book, because he wants to bring people together. He wants to bring, you know, the people who are the materialists and everything is tangible and you have to see it to know it, and the people who believe there's divine consciousness in every living and non-living thing. We're so off pace in our world. We think we're so advanced in our civilization. We're so off pace, and so tonight, like, just focusing a little bit on like, what do you do in those gaps, like between the doing and non-doing, when you're making that pivot and you're jumping and you want to reach to that next level in your career. Well, how are you reaching out in public? Like, how are you being a better citizen? How are you being a better neighbor? How are you being a better sibling? How are you being a better friend, a better significant other? Like, those are the critical areas to look at, because if you're leveling up in how you treat other people and you're leveling up in kindness, and there's no any other place for your career to go but up. Like, that's just, you know, law of attraction.
Right. So there's okay, so there's a bunch of things that I need to circle back to and what you were saying. So one of the things that you said was a word that I even want you to kind of just stick it in your memory bank right now for work that we're going to do on Thursday, but surrender. I think that is a huge part of what I am personally working towards. And it is about giving up the guilt of the expectations of the obligation that somewhere I feel obligated to be a certain way, believe a certain way, do things a certain way, even though that doesn't align with me anymore. So that's big. And so that's
Mhm.
nailing it right there. And when you come from a person who for your whole life, it's not just pieces of your life, it's every area of your life. There were these expectations, and you were in the gifted classes and you went to the college prep school that you had to be tested to get into, and there's all these levels of expectation that it's very easy for that person, that type of person, which is me, to hold yourself to those expectations. And it's bred perfectionism, it's bred procrastination because then you get overwhelmed. You can't be perfect. It's bred a lot of things. And so those are all these little things that, I've been working on a lot of stuff, but there are still these just lingering pieces of stuff that I feel like just need to be released. Um, so that's that. The other thing that is just perfectly aligning with what you said was my meditation this morning was called The Space Between. And when you started talking about that, this meditation even brought in small things like just taking a minute to notice the space between your inhale and your exhale at the top and at the
Mhm.
bottom. So they did some box breathing in
Mhm.
there, but just in naturally in just your natural breathing, just to take note of it. And
Mhm.
I think we busy our minds in the spaces in between where we have opportunity,
Oh,
right, where
absolutely.
we have
Oh,
opportunities
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
quiet it a little bit, but we don't know what to do with the
Mhm.
space, and so we fill it. Go ahead, talk about that a little bit. Uh-oh, are
You
we
didn't know if
frozen?
you were done talking, so I'll be quiet.
I am done talking. I wanted you to just expound on that space.
You're touching on something huge. So hypnotherapy and rapid transformational therapy is a new career for me. I started training in August and I graduated early in January, end of January, and I have so this is new. Talking about this is new. It's unfamiliar. It's uncomfortable. But I love diving in deep into things that are uncomfortable and new because it makes me grow as a person. And one thing that you just touched on something really interesting, huge actually, which you do all the time. You always stumble upon things that are like the iceberg, like underneath, like what's really beneath the surface. And with the clients that I have been seeing lately for hypnotherapy and RTT, it's all one modality together, by the way. Hypnotherapy is the tool and the process of getting through the RTT session. Just want to clarify that is the gaps. So, if someone has a phone addiction or someone has a snacking addiction, which might not seem like a big deal, but it's actually a really big deal because those things are fulfilling boredom. They're fulfilling the gaps. They're disabling people. And Monica was like so spot on with this. She said, the top 5 things that have caused, that have led America to be so hateful. And, you know, um, social media was like up there at the top. And so if you think about social media and smartphones, between 2000 and 2005 or 8, I don't know, smartphones were somewhere around 2005 or 8, I think. If you think about that, that just that's where like a lot of people started losing touch with themselves. I lost my thought on that, but it's interesting that there's that correlation between us losing our connection together as a country, being disabled by technology and phones and social media, and so it
We were
just
talking about the space
exasperates
between
it
two.
exasperates it exasperates the space in between because people don't use their time the same way that they used to, because there's so many cheap, easy distractions. And when this cell phone addiction came up as a topic of somebody's session the other day, you would think, wow, there's a lot of things going on in the world. Like, maybe that's not one that you would think is a problem or a big one, but it is a huge one. Because when you trace back, the root of why this happens, it's exactly that. And I work mostly with women in this regard, so I'm speaking more to the female crowd in that regard. But us, I believe, as women, I'm just going to say that because I am one, have a really hard time being with ourselves, loving ourselves, pausing, looking at our bodies, looking at our energy, looking at what we like and what we don't like, and how we use our time and who we give it to, and how we maybe say yes too much. We don't say no. And that was a huge struggle of mine for most of the end of my marriage into my divorce and becoming a single person, was learning how to be in those gaps, learning how to be in those pauses. Oh, I had to breathe it through. That's like a deep one. That is huge because we have so many opportunities to distract ourselves. And every time we say, it'll just be next time, tomorrow I'll be better with my cell phone. Next week, I'll be better with screen time. I'll start meditating next Monday. Where it's always the next. The next is just, we don't just like step in and do it now. So what we're doing is, and you and I talked about this, Jana, because we're both life coaches, we're people will like say in January, I'm going to set all these goals for the new year. March is here. Maybe we're not even near where we thought we would be in March because our energies aren't in line with our goals. And now we have all these other astrological and energetic influences, et cetera, et cetera. If you're not building the energy cavity, the vessel in your body to bring in the culmination of your goals, the goals won't sit, they won't happen. And if you can't sit with yourself in these pauses, in the moments, in the darker moments of your soul, or when things aren't going right, or when time just slows down and you can't find a way to enjoy yourself and enjoy time. Being bored is actually a good thing. When we were bored as kids, we color, we I don't know, play on the sidewalk, make up games. We'd play in the sandbox at the park. Like, actually, being bored was a good thing because it forced us to get into to access what we could do with our time to make it a creative space. Now we have so many things, smart TVs, smartphones, laptops, iPads, go online. You can just, order DoorDash, or you can go book a plane ticket online, go fly. I mean, we have just so much immediate gratification. So I hope that answers your question. It's a huge one because when you get to the space where you're actually really honest with yourself about having that gap in time, is when you catch up to the emotion or lack of emotion in the connection to yourself and whatever's being triggered in that moment. And that's the best way I can explain it, because if in that moment you're really like just cataloging in your head, or just, what am I feeling? What am I really feeling? Like, do you ever just, what am I really feeling? I feel anxious. But what is that? What am I really feeling? No, I'm feeling bored. Really? I'm feeling bored. Why am I feeling bored? I have so many things to do. I have my taxes. I have donations to make, spring cleaning. Wait, why am I feeling bored? No, it's just, we just want to prolong the inevitable because we just don't want to do things. We just want the easier access. We want the immediate gratification. So it's like really checking in with yourself, asking, what am I feeling? I did a lot of meditating yesterday. I don't know what was going on, but I did a 1 hour meditation last night. I was just feeling the energy of the world collectively. I am tapped out. I need to meditate for an hour, which I never do. I was just like, I'm done. Like, I need to shut this all down. And I lit a candle and I just meditated and quietly for 1 hour. Well,
Yeah.
Does
Well,
that answer your
and
question? Like, does that answer your question like a little bit?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because one of the things that you touched on is something else that I read today too, and that was about the boredom and how we are doing a disservice to our kids these days because they never get to experience boredom. And boredom is where creativity begins. Boredom is where their imagination comes in. And we can see this and how it's impacting children Now it can be studied because, like you said, we've had these distractions in place for so long that now it can be studied and we see the impact that it's having. But the flip side of that is it applies to us as adults. So when you were talking about like how you feel like uh, you were you're doing things like you were when you were a teenager, or how you feel that think we're at an energy that's 30 years ago, and we're kind of
Yeah.
recycling energy from 30 years ago. And I look back at that, and 30 years ago I was 24. I was probably pregnant, about to have my second child. So I'm thinking on this now that you're saying it, and like, where is that energy and what is that, and is that relating to some of the energy I'm feeling now? Because I was not a happy
Hmm.
pregnant person. I never loved being pregnant.
Is there
um,
such a thing?
there are people who love being pregnant. I don't. I am not that
Okay.
person. I didn't love being
I'd
pregnant.
love to
I
know who
didn't
these people are.
I know, right? No, my sister is a person who loves being pregnant. She's like, everything in my
Okay.
body starts working right when I'm pregnant. Um, but I'm not
Okay.
that person. I was miserable. I was
Right.
a miserable pregnant person, and my body didn't love delivering children either. So that was always complicated. And and I love my kids, but skip the pregnancy part. But anyway, so and I'm just thinking about like, are those some similar things like energetically that I'm feeling right now? And there are some little
Hmm.
areas that I'm feeling like,
Yeah.
like that, stuckish kind of
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these are
place.
really deep closures. So I'm really excited that we're going to be doing this on
I
Thursday
know
because it's
you
just
got to,
like I'm excited.
you got a lot of work to do.
Why?
Anyway, but the other thing
No,
here,
that's I'll smudge a lot before. So no, I mean, just this is the kind of thing like you can't avoid. And the scarcity mindset, I think, is the biggest one. I think Monica like just really nailed that in her show because I could just feel it. It was palpable. Like our collectively in our country, we are just we're just there's so much hate. There's a lot of hate because we're just so freaked out. We're scared. Like we don't we're feeling things we've never felt before because we're changing so quickly and people are just spiraling out. They don't know what to do with these feelings. And that's why for us, you, Monica, myself, Sonia, all of us are in some way, shape, or form role models, anchors, light workers, life coaches. We have to be really careful, that we don't get too influenced by the reactivity of everything going on around us so that we can continue to stay afloat and anchor in and help to tether, those that are needing that sort of ladder, towards ascension. And that's the metaphor I'm using because um, you have to like aspire to get to somewhere. And so you're already where you're going to be. Like Jana, you're already there. It's just hasn't manifested in your material world yet, but like the speaking and the clients and the higher level engaging that you're going to have with your future colleagues, that's all happened. It's happening. It just hasn't materialized in your eyes. And that's, what we're going to work on. Hopefully, in 5 minutes or so, we can go into the hypnosis, which is, it's completely by choice. It's really just like a guided meditation, to be honest with you. And I will be speaking stream of consciousness, just really planting in the language and the words for abundance in all areas. And I kind of, there's just a couple of us here, so I kind of know what people probably are looking to hear. If I was just working one-on-one, obviously it would be more specific towards that person. But I think just, that distributing, and you and I talked about this, it just came up as an opportunity. I felt even if there's just a few people here or someone watches this on replay, if it touches one person or two people and they get something out of the hypnosis and the little meditation, the transformation, that just makes a little difference in how they feel about themselves tomorrow, next week. Like, hey, if I could just make that one touch point that this world is all about, or just for this one moment, for the volunteering to do this. And that is what I mean by us as light workers and life coaches and role models. kind of lifting everyone up. It's just, even when we are not getting the lift that we need necessarily, like, we are strong enough to know that there's something bigger and better coming, and it is happening, but we have to have that torch in our hands, and we have to lead the way and volunteer our time a little bit here and there, volunteer our energy in a safeguarded way, in a safe, and not maintaining healthy boundaries and such. Because the wars will come for all of us, and the more and more we start to perpetuate that level of contagiousness, will begin to counteract a lot of this negativity and this hate that we are seeing, hearing, and feeling in this world. And I'm not
Yeah.
naive. Like, I truly believe that's possible. I see the transformations happening with the people I work with, and I'm fully convinced that we are going to get to a better place because we have no other choice.
Yes, I agree with that. And I
So we're
think
spring
that,
cleaning. We're spring cleaning the energy. We're back to the spring cleaning. We're spring cleaning all. We're just gonna like sprinkle everyone with a little energy tonight.
yeah, yeah, and I do. And I think that there's also, you know, something else you said, and then we'll get into it, is the understanding and being able to label and tune in and understand what those feelings are. And I think that happens in those spaces in between too, when we get quiet and you keep asking yourself, what is this? Why am I feeling this? What is this feeling about? Brene Brown does a great job with that book, Atlas of the Heart, with being able to explain what these different emotions are so that you can actually link when you're feeling something and understand what that means or what some of the underlying messages may be, and go, okay, that's what it is. This makes sense. And
Mm-hmm.
then you can, like, am I feeling scarcity? Am I feeling a lack of abundance because of fear? Or am I actually feeling it because of a level of resistance or a level of being unable to surrender? And those come from
Yeah.
two different places, right? And so you have to be able to know that and to tap into that so that you can release, move through, and level up or elevate or ascension, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. I'm going to be
You,
quiet because I want you to go ahead and do your thing. So,
yeah, this
um,
is so it's 8:42. This is perfect because it'll take about 2-3 minutes. It'll be like 8:43 when I start, and it'll take about 2-3 minutes for me to get into the hypnosis, and then by 8:45 ish, I'm just gonna speak for 15 minutes straight. When I'm done, I'll take everybody out of the hypnosis. It's just gonna feel like coming out of like a meditation or savasana in yoga. It's very straightforward. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to become a zombie. I'm not going to influence your mind in any way that you don't want to have your mind influenced by yourself on your own with your own thoughts. And the best way to go about preparing for this is, obviously, if you are open to this, please stay. If you are not open to hypnosis, you're always welcome to come back and listen to the replay at another time. You will feel very relaxed when you're done. You can lie down while you do this. That's fine. It's nighttime. If you sit up, just fully supported with a pillow, feet on the ground is a nice way. It's a nicer, sometimes a nicer way. So we're just gonna. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm going to ask you to do in just a moment, which is you're going to just take I'm going to cue your breath. So you're going to take a inhale and you'll take an exhale, and you're going to look straight up. It's hard to see at my angle right here, but you're going to look straight up at the ceiling. And so if you can see, like, my eyes are starting to flutter, and I'm wanting to yawn when I do that because it automatically starts that rapid eye movement. And I'm going to cue you to do that, and then shut your eyelids down. Okay? So are you ready, Deanna? When Deanna says she's ready, that means everybody else. I don't know. You guys want to give a little clap down there if you're ready, if you're
I'm
participating,
ready.
so we know? All right. I see Sonia. I see Monica. We had someone else here. I think they left. That's fine. We're cool. It's all good. All right. So this is going to be an abundance download of, we're going to get rid of that scarcity mindset. We're going to spring clean that out and just give you all a nice sprinkling of good energy going into Wednesday. All right, so go ahead and take a breath in and go ahead and take a breath out. And take another breath, deep breath. And then go ahead and look up. Good, Deanna, I can see you're blinking your eyes. good. Keep looking up, and each time you blink, that is hypnosis coming upon you. Just go ahead and continue to breathe in. Keep looking up. Good. And just take one final long breath out. Keep your eyeballs up. And then inhale again. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as your eyelids shut down, the muscles and nerves in and around your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. Your eyelids are starting to feel as if they've been glued shut, sealed shut, locked tight. You'll find the harder you try to open your eyes, the more they feel glued shut, sealed shut, locked together. So just forget all about your eyes and allow a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. Just go ahead and drop your chin just a little bit. Good. Just as if you're looking down 10 steps. And as I count down, just see your feet, hear your feet, and feel your feet treading each and every step as you go deeper. Right now you're on step 10, and as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9. You can see your feet touching the step as you go deeper into an awareness of your breath. You're taking step 8. You can hear your feet making contact with a step as you go deeper. You're taking step 7. You can feel your breath moving up your spinal column as you exhale. You go deeper. You're taking step 6, and every sound and noise and movement around you is carrying you further, deeper, way, way deeper into hypnosis. You're taking step 5. You're halfway down. Go deeper. You're taking step 4. As all the muscles, all the nerves, all the cells in your body are loosening and letting go as you go deeper. You're taking step 3, going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 2, going deeper into your own internal state. You're taking step 1. As I click my fingers, you will go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. Deeper just means going deeper into an awareness of yourself. So just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. Try to open your eyes. Find they are locked shut. Go deeper. Try to open your eyes. Find they are glued shut. Go deeper. Try to open your eyes. Find they are fused together, sealed together, and go deeper and deeper, at least 50 times deeper. That's perfect. And so hypnosis is not about being asleep. It's just asleep of the nervous system. And right now, I know that you are incredibly suggestible just from the deep breathing that you're doing right now. And right now you are seeing yourself waking up in the morning. You're seeing your day out in front of you. Your schedule is filled. It's filled with clients, lots of clients for either coaching or for whatever business it is that you are involved in. And you're seeing the right kinds of clients coming your way. Clients who appreciate your time, appreciate your space, they're respectful, they're kind, they treat you well, they pay you well. You can smell all the smells in your house when you wake up. All of your favorite smells are around you. You feel, when you wake up, you can feel your body is deeply rested and you got just the right amount of sleep. You feel awake, you feel alert, you feel energized, you feel inspired, you feel motivated, you feel connected. You're excited. There's a sense of excitement about starting your day softly and quietly with prayer and meditation, or maybe some spiritual writing in your journal, or perhaps reading a book that has words that lift you up. And that way that you start your day is the medicine that fuels the energy in your body. It fills up your tank. It fills up your energy tank. And when you're finished with your morning that you have just to yourself, you feel confident and you feel very aware of your surroundings and your interactions. When you move around, whether you are in your car or moving around indoors in a public space, you have the awareness of the people around you. You feel a smile on your face when you interact and see people and they smile back at you. And you take that and feel that kindness and that energy. And you bring that into the rest of your day. You're eating the right foods. You have a healthy breakfast. You have a nourishing lunch. And then you have a dinner where you sit down. If you're by yourself or if you're with family, you sit down and you're fully present. You're fully present with the things that you put in your body to nourish your body. And you have just the right amount of food in your house. Your fridge is filled with healthy, abundant, nourishing foods. And you're drinking lots of water and hydrating throughout the day, giving your body hydration all the way down to a cellular level, which is increasing your ability to have oxygen in your lungs, to have health and sustenance in your body. And you're feeling this gratitude when you look at your bank account because you have not only enough to cover your bills and your expenses, but you have enough to put away for savings. You have enough to help someone in need in the community. You have enough to go have a little nice night out doing something a little different that feels good, that feels special. And it just feels so calm and so relaxing to have the ability to have all of that wealth accruing in your bank account. And that wealth is there because you deserve it. You are worthy of it. You have earned it. You are a giver and you are a provider. You're a provider for yourself. You're a provider for your family, but you're also a provider as a light worker, as a coach, as a mentor, as a leader in your community. You're always going to be provided for so that you can help provide for others. And that is a mantra that you wake up to every day and that you go to bed with every night, is that you will always be provided for because you are doing good work to help to heal humanity, to help to heal your community, to help to make this country, this world a better place. And you will always be provided for so that you can continue to do that work and so that you can continue to lift up and help others. And knowing that you will always be provided for so that you can do your very important work gives you that sense of connection and safety when you go to bed at night and you wake up again with that same sense of connection and safety that you are part of something bigger. And because you are part of something bigger, you will always be here and be able to do that in the highest way possible. And so when you wake up each morning, you wake up again with a renewed sense of faith, a renewed sense of connection, a renewed sense of vibrancy, and how you are going to move forward and help others in your day. And you know that when you look at your house and you see your bills paid and you see your fridge full and you see all your clean clothes in your closet and you look at everything, how everything just seems to come together when you believe and you know that's possible and you know that you are worthy and you deserve to have all of these things and that you are valued and you are loved and you will always have enough. You will always have more than enough and you are worthy of having more than enough. And so right now I would like I'm going to count back. On the count of 1, you're becoming more aware of your body, feeling your fingers and toes. On the count of 2, you are aware of the room, the sounds around you. On the count of 3 and 4, you're taking a deep breath. And on the count of 5, you can go ahead and open your eyes, feeling wonderful, feeling amazing, feeling free. Fill up your lungs and come back to your full awareness right now.
Whew, that was good.
Ah, so I think we might have lost Monica, but we have someone Noosh down here. So thank you for Sonia for sticking around for that. So that will be here on replay if you'd like to listen to it. Did you enjoy?
I did, and I want to listen to it again where I can be laying down. I think I'll like it a little bit more because right now I'm up against the wall and I'm in my front room. And in this front room is close to the street. And so, but even still, I stopped hearing things. So, I mean, it was fine, but I'm going to listen to it again. I'm definitely going to listen to it again.
Oh, I think we have
But
someone
I,
new. We have someone new down there. I don't know. We had
yeah,
someone
who's
trickle in.
Noosh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hi
I
Noosh.
don't
Well, I
know.
hope you enjoyed that. Sonia,
Welcome.
do you want to speak at all? Did you enjoy that? Do you want to come up and just, you don't have to put your video on, but do you want to put your audio on?
I know. I'd like to hear. She got to, she might be sleeping now. You never know.
I just invited her to speak. There she is.
There you go. Hey, Sonia.
Wow, that was really good. Really
Thanks.
good. Really good topic tonight. Yo-Yo Ma once said that the music is in between the notes. And that's what I kept thinking about throughout as you guys were talking about the gaps. Because I think that's really true, that it's in the gaps where we grow. Um, because that's where we learn to sit with the emotion and we learn to sit with the uncertainty and be okay with it. So it's a really good topic. I really appreciate that. Sheila, I'm very excited to hear more about your new career. And I really like this hypnosis meditation. Um, I too I'm going to listen to it again when I lay down because I noticed my head kept falling. Yeah,
It's,
it's pretty amazing.
yeah, I've noticed the more that I work with meditation, I'm able to kind of settle in quicker. But I like this where you said, your eyes are glued shut. Try to open your eyes, and I literally couldn't open my eyes. I was like,
Yep.
I'm hearing the words, but my eyes are like, no, don't do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was me too. I tried to challenge it. I'm like, hypnosis, blah. It's like, yeah, right. So I was very surprised about that. I too had a hard time opening my eyes. Actually, I couldn't until
Yeah.
Donna knocked on the door. Yeah.
And and then, and I like that, I think we all have this conception of hypnosis where we have no consciousness and somebody's taken over your mind like a little puppet. And
Mhm.
I like the dispelling of that doesn't necessarily mean that, you're being manipulated. It is.
No,
It's about
yeah.
settling the nervous system. I like that. That's demystifies things a little bit. The clock, you know.
Yep, absolutely. And I like the fact that how you explained it. It's really settling down the nervous system. I remember I was having some anxiety issues. Well, I still do on and off, but went through a bout where it was really bad this last year. And I was reading about the polyvagal nerve, and I remember that that was one of the things was looking up, um, to help settle. So yeah, I can
Oh,
see
wow.
Deanna's moving her eyes around.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a book. I have a book. There's a lot of books on my list, but one of them is on the vagus nerve. Anyhow, it's on my list. I'll get to it before the end of this year. We can definitely channel some of that information into because of the hypnotherapy.
Yeah,
She
well,
was like
I know you'll
gone.
hear about it when you.
So you'll have to check in with her.
With who?
Oh, with Monica.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She.
She was,
I'll check. I'll text her.
um,
She's like,
but anyhow,
no,
yeah,
you're gonna
this was a
put me to
great
sleep
topic,
right
and
now.
thank you for having me. I'm gonna just get ready to go to sleep myself. And Brian, thanks for popping in. If you want to come back and listen to the recording, the last 15 minutes was a little bit of hypnosis and a nice little download for abundance mindset. So,
All right, yeah, and I appreciate you doing this with us, Sheila, and volunteering to do this at the end because I was real excited about this and being able to share this. So this was great. Um, and me too, because I got to be somewhere at 6:15 tomorrow, which
oh
is an
no,
ungodly hour
okay,
for
all
me.
right.
It just never happens. That never happens.
Well, thank you
So,
for letting me be here.
um, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap up here, and then we'll get back to it. We'll see Sheila again next month. And keep your eyes open. I do have some stuff coming up for the next couple of weeks. This month is booked out, so I do have some good guests that you guys will be excited about. Um, you know, seeing and hearing from. And then, once a month, we have our Sheila here every month, every single month. So, all right. Thank you so much, Sheila. And thanks, Sonia, for jumping up here and sharing um, how everything worked for you with the meditation at the end. I'm glad you enjoyed the topic and the hypnosis. So that was fun times. All right. So I am going to play some music and talk us out of here. And we'll see you guys on the flip side of this. And again, you guys are in the Laughter After Trauma show. And this music here is my husband's music, Dan Freeman, music by Dan Freeman. So thanks for joining the conversation. I'm Deanna. You had Sheila here with you as well. And we are coaches. We lead you to your laughter after. I see you. You are beautiful. Till next time, love each other, stay connected, shine on. Bye-bye.